Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion. This is the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube, which is what TC10 stands for. We start here with chapstick. I did just apply some. I just did my BoxyCharm unboxing video, but we're going to apply more because chapstick is the bomb. And I'm a chapstick hoe, so I have to use it. So what I did was, I already did, today's January 13th. I don't know when this will be uploaded. It'll be a minute, probably like an hour. Well, it's going to be a while. I showed my makeup collection, my workable, curated, minimalist makeup collection, and my eyeshadow palettes. And I think I had 27. I decluttered 11. Yeah. And so what I did, one of the ones I decluttered was the Venus 2, the Lime Crime palette. Because my second time using it, the shadows are already performing differently. And this one is just like cracked and dry and flaking like everywhere. And I'm just like, it's only my second time using it. Like, so I don't know if they sold me an old one or if the formula is just trash. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to declutter this. But I really liked the color story because it is unique to my collection. So what I did today was I went to MAC, made my own, with the exception of my birthday quad colors, because some of these colors can be duped. This can be duped for that. The yellow can be duped for that. The green, even though they look different, they both show up deep on my lids, so that green can dupe for that. And so what I did was, and the guy that was there working, he was so helpful. And I told him up front, I said, I'm just going to see what shades I can dupe and then go home and use Rakuten because I wasn't able to get on Rakuten on my phone in the store. And he was like, oh, okay, no problem, no problem. And so I had took this with me, the Lime Crime one. And, you know, he was helping me find shades, very helpful. And I ended up telling him, well, I asked him, I said, do you get commission? And he said, yes. And I said, so you know what? I said, I'm just going to purchase this in the store so that way you'll get your commission. And he was like, oh, you don't have to do that. And I said, well, even Rakuten would save me, I think, for MAC right now, and it's like 3%. In my mind, I'm like, okay, that'll be your tip. Because he spent maybe like 25 minutes with me, helping me pick out shadows and showing me different things. And time is valuable, even though I was the only one in the store at first. And then somebody came in, they didn't even purchase anything, and then they left. And so, but I still felt like, you know what, he is just being really helpful. He's taking out time. He was extremely friendly. And his eyeshadow look was the bomb. And after I made my transaction, he was saying something to me. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, your eyelashes look really nice. Like it was, and he was like, oh, thank you. And I could tell they were falsies, but they looked like they could be natural. Like they weren't, you know, the fluttering thing that I mentioned in another video, but they were like short, like not all the way up to here, but just, you know, like it could be a natural length. But because they were thicker than most people's lashes, that's how I knew that they were false lashes. And so, but other than that, like they looked really nice. And I'm not a false lash person. Y'all know this. And so that's what caught my attention. And he was in mid-sentence and I'm like, your lashes are nice. And he was like, oh, thank you. So I could tell he had to switch gears in his mind from whatever he was saying to process what I had just said. Anyway, but he was just so friendly. And so what I got was, because a few of these shades are dupeable for this, I told him, I said, I really just want like these 4 right here. And so I purchased a 9-pan palette because I can put the 4 from my birthday quad in with the new shades and just have one palette. So even though I decluttered 9, I'm sorry, I'm thinking 9 because this is a 9-pan palette. Because I decluttered 11 palettes, it'll end up being 10 because I'm adding 1 back, which I still think is awesome. So even if I say I technically decluttered 10, that's still great because I only started with like 27. So this is the empty palette. They get you, y'all, because the palette is $9, but then you have to pay $2 for the insert. Like, don't you need the insert and the palette anyway? Like, why not just have it all together for $11? So this is an empty palette. I'm just like, why? Because then it just makes it seem like you're getting new stuff. Anyway, so $11. This is the insert. Just put it all together. So this is So then you put this in here. Why don't they just sell it together? And so he did ask if I wanted him to put the palette together for me. I can't get it out now. And okay, I got it out. And put the shades in, and I said no, because I do want the palette that I'm creating to look like this one, because I do like how this is laid out, even though it's kind of like, what do I do with it? Since I've used it twice, I now know what to do with it, and I've watched other videos, and I do have some other ideas, and so I do want it to have this same setup. And so I told him I would do it at home. So the shades that I purchased, some look really close, and some do look like a dupe. But even though they're not exact dupes, as you've seen in my Persona Identity 2 palette versus a Natasha Denona Eyeshadow 10 palette, the colors can look different. They can swatch different. You do a look, it looks almost exactly the same. So swatches may be like, oh, it's a little different. It's a little cooler tone. This one is more golden. This one is, warmer. But when you put it on your lid, depending on your skin tone and your undertone, it may look exactly the same. And so I didn't feel like, okay, that's not the exact same shade, I'm not going to get it. And so I'm not going to read the names, because as I said, I have my contacts in, which help me see distance. And even though I do have my reading glasses here, the print on the back of these is so tiny. And so what I'll do is, I don't want to take up a lot of time trying to read it or edit out a lot of stuff. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to list here what the shade is. And also I'll have it down in the description bar. So that's how we're going to do that. So for this blue shade, and then I will post a picture of this and the palette I create. This is more purplish, but this is going to substitute for that blue. And I did like the look I did with this, even though over that Anastasia Beverly Hills white ass bright base, this looked brighter blue than, to me, it looks in the palette. And I think it might be because of that primer, but either way, I don't mind that being a deeper shade or even like a purplish shade, because I do think the look will look similar to the one I created with this palette, the second look that I created with the Lime Crime palette. So this is going to be for that blue. This orange is going to dupe this orange. Initially, he gave me a deeper, it was more red. Here we go. And when I looked at this one, I said, this is more of a bright orange. And so I went with this shade. For this gold over here, this raw gold, I went with this shade. There was not an exact dupe, but will it look the same on my eye? You know what I mean? And so what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to recreate the second look I did with the Lime Crime palette and see how close it is, like how I did with the Persona Identity 2 palette versus the Natasha Denona Eyeshadow palette 10, just to see like how close the looks are. And so, and keep in mind, this does still have the plastic over it. I'm going to put this together later and take pictures and then do a look and do all of that. But I'm like, that'll work. And it doesn't have to be exact, as I said, as long as the finish is similar, because most of these are mattes in this palette. And I already have a black, and so I didn't want to get another black. So I got a different shade to add to this palette. This one, this shade is going to dupe for this one, even though it's not as... The one in the Lime Crime, the one here, this one here in the corner, is like a dual chromey, like brownish, greenish shade, which I really like. This is close. And I chose this one because number one is close. And also, when I did my second look with the Lime Crime palette, when I put this shade over this blue, it looked like this shade. And so worst comes to worst, I'll mix Sketch, which I already have from my birthday quad, and that purplish shade and see if it'll still give me something like that. And so we'll see. We will see. But it looks good, right? And so 9-pan palette, these are 8 shades. I'm like, what can I put in here to just enhance or to add something else and it not be a shade that's similar to something else in my collection? And so I chose this one. And as I said, I'll put the name over here somewhere. So this will be in place of the black because I have blacks. So I can pull a black from somewhere else. And so I did not want to have another black in my 9-pan palette. So this is going to go in there, and it is like a silver shade. And I thought this may add to brow bone highlight or inner corner highlight. And so that'll be my new palette along with my birthday quad. This is going to be my new MAC palette. And y'all, I'm really kind of excited because when I initially started wearing makeup, I was wearing a lot of Stila because that's the first brand to match my foundation that was cheaper than Makeup Forever, which is what Sephora matched me to. And I used Stila products for a while, and then I wanted something different. And you know how it is. You use the same thing, the same brand, the same shadow. You love the formula, but you just want something new. And so I had asked on my YouTube channel back then, which was still a Junkie07, and someone said, because you love the Stila shades, you will like the Volux and the Pearl shades from MAC. And so someone suggested I try it, and I tried MAC, and I'm like, these are awesome. And that's how I got into MAC. And so I got into the Volux, I got into the Pearls, I got into the mattes. And so this is exciting to me because a lot of people don't talk about MAC anymore. Like some people still be like, oh, this is the MAC paint pot. You know, I bought some MAC lippies, you know, during the holiday sale in 2021. And, you know, the birthday quad, which reminded me how much I used to love MAC shadows. And so when I thought to try and dupe this out, I said, you know what? I'm going back to MAC. And so I'm excited to put MAC back on the map. And so this might be a Throwback Thursday video, I'm not sure, or a Flashback Friday video, I'm not sure. But I'm really excited to be going back to my roots, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I do think this is going to be a bomb palette. Once I do put it together, I'll show it to you when I come back to duplicate or recreate the second look I did with Lime Crime, and we'll compare it and see. And so I'll post pictures like I did the other video, and we'll see how close it is or how close it's not. And yeah, we're going to keep experimenting here because that's what we do. And so thank you for being here and for watching, and let me know where your roots in makeup started. Like what brand kicked it off for you? And do you still use that brand that kicked it off? Even if you've been wearing makeup, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, do you still use those brands that rooted you in makeup? And if so, I don't even know what I was going to say. If so, how does it feel? You know, so it's sort of, you know, circular, you know, going back to where you started from. And so I'm excited, and I smell something, and I think it's something from the BoxyCharm box that's sitting here. I did that video right before this one. Yeah, I'm smelling. It might be that balm because there's only one thing I opened and smelled. And even though it's back in the BoxyCharm box closed up, I can still smell it. So when I say I have like sensitive sinuses, y'all, it's in the BoxyCharm box, and the BoxyCharm box is closed, and the balm is sealed inside the box that came in. So through all of that, I can still smell it. Sensitive sinuses, y'all. Yeah, I'm sitting here like, what the hell? Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know the answers to those questions about going back to your roots, or if you completely just ditched, you know, brands that you used to use before. Yeah, I'm super excited. Can you tell? And the day is a sad day. My friend that passed away, her service is today. And so me shopping, which is not a good coping mechanism, as you can tell, it excites me. There's something unnatural about spending money when you feel down. Like that shouldn't be a coping mechanism because it's not a healthy one. And also, Scott Barnes on Instagram posted his blush palette came back. And in my makeup collection and declutter video, I was saying how I believe what I've purchased has satiated my desire for the Scott Barnes blush palette. But it popped up on Instagram that it was back in stock, and I'm like, damn it. Yeah, I purchased it. No coupon. I was gonna say coupon. And I know some areas do say coupon and some say coupon. So I was going to say coupon, but normally I say coupon. So I don't even know why it came out that way. But anyway, full price I paid for it. And usually when I order Scott Barnes, it comes the next day, or at least within 2 days. And so today is Thursday. So it might be here either tomorrow, Friday. And I did get a shipping notice already because it comes from Jersey. I'm in Delaware. So it's just coming over the bridge, over the Delaware Memorial Bridge. So yeah, so because I ordered that, I am definitely going to get rid of 2 of my powders that I had questioned in that video, like should I keep or get rid of. So I am going to definitely get rid of that. So something in, something out. And even though those items were questionable, they're definitely going to be out. And because I reorganized what I have based on having decluttered some stuff, this container, I'm going to lean over and get it. This is empty. This was full, this was full, both of these were full. So because of my decluttering, this is empty. And so that's why it was in there, because I'm like, I don't need it here. And this not being here gives me more space at my station. And so I'm really excited about that. And I know I'm just going on, and I apologize. Yes, I'm going to end this video. Sorry for just switching gears off of MAC to the other stuff. But yeah, so if you're feeling down, try to find a healthy coping mechanism and not spend money. But if you do, hashtag no judgment. We cope the best way we can, and sometimes it's not always the best way possible long term. But you know, you got to do what you got to do to get through each day. And so this is how I got through today. So yeah, so now I'm feeling really sad because I'm thinking about my friend that passed away. Anyway, so I'm gonna go. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on this stuff, going back to your roots, all of that, and you will see me in the next video. Thanks a lot.